Shalom. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rachakadash. Salakia. Oh, no. Salakia. Alright, I thought that was gonna, because sometimes when people call me, then the stream goes off. But, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rachakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing this truth and sincerity. The water for what y'all do. We love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom to y'all. Great millstone camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh, meaning he is, or he exists, or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior or he is the deliverer. All right, he saves, he delivers. If you're watching this now, you're a so-called black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, and you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You would not find black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible. So you need to know who you are according to the Bible. All right, now if you don't look like a so-called black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, well, there's a good possibility you could be a Hebrew Israelite as well, all right? You could get salvation. It does not matter what you look like. It does not matter what color your skin is. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is a prince of the power, all right? Now, we read in the previous chapters where Absalom came back and returned back to the kingdom and was embraced by King David, man. King David kissed him, all right? You know, yeah, because what he had did to Amnon, you know, and taking his life, and why? Because Amnon committed this incest and took his sister, right? You know, if you know what that means, he had sex with his own sister, man. That's something you don't do. Grab a little bit of this water, Salakia. All right, 2 Samuel 15:1. Now the subtitle reads Absalom's conspiracy. It says, and it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, Of what city art thou? And he said, Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. And Absalom said unto him, See, thy matters are good and right. But there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, Moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice. And it was so that when any man came nigh to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. And on this manner did Absalom to all Israel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. And it came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode at Geshur in Syria, saying, If the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve the Lord. And the king said unto him, Go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, As soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. And wait, hold on. It says, and Absalom went, and with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, the Gilonite, David's counselor from his city, even from Gilo. He offered sacrifices, and the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. It said David flees Jerusalem. It says, and there came a messenger to David saying, the hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom. See, the people of Israel are wicked people, man. You see, so here it is that King David, one, was, the way he was when King Saul was in rulership, where he had multiple chances to kill King Saul, but he said he would not touch the Lord's anointed. And here are these people conspiring against King David, and he just spared this man Absalom, which Absalom did a righteous thing. Don't get me wrong, but he's like, bro, like I let you back into the kingdom, like, this is how you treat me, and the people, did King David not rule fairly? I mean, he made one, sin, one error, but the Most High, jacked him up for that. It says, let me put him a little bit higher. It says, and David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise and let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servants said unto the king, behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. And the king went forth, and all his household after him. And the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. And the king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in a place that was far off. And all his servants passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the Gittites, 600 men which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Attai, the Gittite, wherefore goest thou also with us? Return to thy place and abide with the king, for thou art a stranger and also in exile. Whereas thou camest but yesterday, should I this day make thee go up and down with us, seeing I go whither I may? Return thou and take back thy brethren. Mercy and truth be with thee. And Attai answered the king and said, as the Lord liveth, and as my lord the king liveth, surely in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, even there also will be thy servant be. And David said unto Attai, go and pass over. And Attai the Gittite passed over, and all his men, and all the little ones that were with him. And all the country wept a loud voice, and all the people passed over. The king also himself passed over the brook Kidron, and all the people passed over toward the way of the wilderness. And lo, Zadok also and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and they set down the ark of power. And Abiathar went up until all the people had done passing out of the city. And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of the covenant into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again, and show me both it and his habitation. But if he thus say, I have no delight in thee, behold, here am I. Let him do to me as he seemeth good unto him. The king said also unto Zadok the priest, art not thou a seer? Return into the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz thy son, and Jonathan the son of Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from you to certify me. Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot, and all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went went up. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount where he worshipped Yahweh, behold, Hushai the Archite came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head, unto whom David said, If thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be the servant, O king, as I have been thy father's servant hitherto, so will I also be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. And hast thou not there with thee Zadok the Abiathar and Abiathar the priests? Therefore it shall be that what thing soever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell it to Zadok and Abiathar the priests. Behold, they have there with them their two sons, Ahimaaz, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abiathar's son. And by them ye shall send unto me everything that ye hear. So Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. All right, so we'll read on. Ziba, a false servant. It says, And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mishbosheth, met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, The asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine that such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. And the king said, And where is thy master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he abideth at Jerusalem. For he said, Today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Then said the king of Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertaineth unto Mishbosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I may find grace in thy sight, O Lord, O king, my Lord, O king. David is cursed. It says, when King David came into Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, and the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came, and he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei. It's not. Let me see. It's not here, right? Or Shimei. Let me see. Shimei. Renowned. Yes, it's not Shemai like we know. To be listen or hear. Renowned. I wonder if this.
Strong's H 8096. Shimei.
Okay, well, all right, so, and thus said Shemai, it might be Shemai, which means to listen. It says renowned too, so I mean, renowned means to kind of, take regard for. I mean, renowned, if you are renowned, then people know who you are, like, they know of you. So it could be similar, but I'm not sure for that spelling right there. That's all. It says when, because that's not how we spell Shemai in Hebrew. But it says when but it sounds, when you hear the translation, it sounds similar. So it might be Shemai. It says when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial, the Lord hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned, and the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah unto the king, Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. It says, And the king said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, Curse David. Who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone. And let me read that again. And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came forth out of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hill's side over against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him, and cut and cast dust. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed himself there. Absalom entered Jerusalem. It says, And Absalom and all the people of the men of Israel came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And it came to pass, when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king, God save the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, Is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? And Hushai said unto Absalom, Nay, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose will I be, and with him will I abide. And again, whom shall I serve? Can I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in the father's presence, so will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, Give counsel among you what we shall do. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear it that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that were with thee be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines, and in the sight of Israel. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of Yahweh. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and Absalom. It's off. Yeah, man, let's continue to read on, man. I mean, this is good. It said Hushai's counsel, which is always good, but sometimes, we don't have much time, right? It says, Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Let me now choose out 12,000 men. Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid, and all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only. And I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man whom thou seekest is as if all return, so all the people shall be in peace. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, Call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner. Shall we do after this his saying? If not, speak thou. Hushai said unto Absalom, The counsel of Ahithophel have given is not good at this time. For it said Hushai, Thou knowest thy father and his men, and they be mighty men. They be chaffed in their minds as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field, and thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in some pit or in some other place, and it will come to pass when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, There is a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. And for all Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea from multitude, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come up upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground, and of him and of all the men that are with him, there shall not be left so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it unto the river until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel, for the Lord had appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Hushai the one that saved David. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly, tell David, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up, and all the people that are with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by Enrogel, for they might not be seen to come to the city. And a wench went and told them, and they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom, but they went both of them away quickly and came to the man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth and spread ground corn thereon, and the thing was not known. And when Absalom's servant came to the women to the house, they said, where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, they be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well and went in. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well and went and told King David, and said unto David, arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan by the morning light. There lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and gat him home to his house to his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself and died. And he was buried in the sepulchre of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son, whose name was Ithra, an Israelite, that went in to Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister of Zeruiah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass, when David was come to Mahanaim, that Shobai, the son of Nahash, of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Emiel, of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim, brought beds and basins, and earthen vessels, and wheat, and barley, and flour, and parched corn, and beans, and lentils, and parched pulse, and honey, and butter, and sheep, and cheese of kine, for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said the people was hungry and weary and thirsty in the wilderness. All right, so we got the pursuit going after David from his son Absalom. Oh, it already gives it away. Absalom slain. But Lord willing, with edify, we'll continue this later. All right, shalom.